Hi everyone, this is week 6, day 1. So this is all about photosynthesis. So we have the learning competency is differentiate basic features and importance of photosynthesis and respiration. So at the end of this lesson, you will identify the different cell structure and function of plants involved in the food making process. So food making meaning it is called as the photosynthesis. Okay? So what is photosynthesis? So let us define what is photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is a process of food making done by the plants and other autotrophic organisms. The presence of chlorophyll enables these organisms to make their own food. So photosynthesis again is the process of making food by the plants. So why is it that the plants is able to make their own food? That is because of the presence of chlorophyll, which is the green pigments. Okay, chlorophyll. So in plants, photosynthesis primarily takes place in the leaves and little or none in stems depending on the presence of chlorophyll. So the chlorophyll is present usually in the leaves, okay, or sa dahon. So napoy uban on the stems, pero rarely ra dili jud kasagaran jud it happens in the leaves of the plant. So we have the internal structure of the leaf. So we have the cuticle, okay. So we have this one, okay. This is the cuticle, the different parts of the leaves ni siya, internal structure, leaf, the cuticle, the upper epidermis cells. We have the palisade or the mesophyll cells, spongy mesophyll cells, the stomatal air space or stomata, the lower epidermis cells, the stomata or the guard cells. So what is cuticle? So if we say cuticle is the waxy layer for water proofing of upper leaves. Then the epidermis protects the leaves and has nothing to do with photosynthesis process. So it divides into two, upper epidermis or the upper layer cells, the lower epidermis or the lower external layer of the cells. Another part is the mesophyll layer, has the most number of chloroplasts that contain chlorophyll. Excuse me. So the chlorophyll is naa siya sa chloroplast. Ang chloroplast that is also the part of the leaf nga naa makita ang chlorophyll. So it divided into spongy mesophyll, the palisade mesophyll. So what is the difference? Lower layer of the chlorophyll, layer of the chloroplast containing cell with air spaces around them. Then the palisade mesophyll is the tightly packed upper layer of the chloroplast containing cells. Then the vascular bundles. Another part, these serve as the transporting vessels of manufactured food and water. So it has two types, the xylem and phloem. So xylem transport water and soluble nutrients from roots to various parts of the plant. So xylem that it is part of the plants that transport the water and soluble materials from roots gikan sa roots to the different parts of the plants, to the stem, to the leaves, okay? Then the phloem is transport sugars, proteins, and other organic molecules in plants. That is the phloem. Then what is the function of stomata, or what is stomata? Stomata is the tiny openings or pores between guard cells that allow for gas exchange. So stomata is the part of the leaf nga anha, it is where the gas exchange happen. Okay. Then we have the chloroplast. So let us see the different parts of the chloroplast. Okay. So, but before that, let us define chloroplast. What is chloroplast? So, chloroplast is an organelle that is surrounded by a double membrane, contain an inner membrane folded into discs called thylakoids. So, this one is the uh, figure of the chloroplast. So it has different parts. So we have the inner membrane, the outer membrane, the thylakoids, stroma, and the chloroplast. So let us define what is thylakoids, the grana, granum, stroma, and chlorophyll. So thylakoids, it contain chlorophyll and are arranged into granum or net stacks. This is the site of the light-dependent reaction. So, in making food, in the photosynthesis, there are two process. Are it in during the dark and the light-dependent reactions. So, in the granum or the grana is surrounded by a gel-like material called stroma. Then stroma, the site of light-dependent reaction. Then chlorophyll is a green pigment that is responsible in trapping the light from the sun. So, excuse me. So the function of the chlorophyll is to trap the light, okay, from the sun. Okay? So, one of the important material needed in photosynthesis is the light from the sun. The sunlight from the sun. So, without the sunlight, the plants also cannot produce their own food. So, for your activity, so adaptation of the leaf to photosynthesis. Okay, so this is now the feature in the first table. So you are going to label the different parts. So say label ra. So this one, unsa ni siya, okay, and so on. Okay, so label the different parts. And then in the second column, complete the table below with how each feature of the leaf helps the plant photosynthesis efficiency. So leaf part, how it is involved in photosynthesis. Okay, the waxy cuticle and other to xylem. Unsay, what are their function or description? Okay, you write it in the blank space provided. Kung aning a part. So down. So that is your activity.